When they were devouring the world in the 1970s, with their thunderous sound and their wicked ways, the members of Led Zeppelin seemed the least likely musicians to expect an invitation to the White House.
It's been said that a generation of young people survived teenage angst with a pair of headphones and a Zeppelin album.
But there they were this month, the band's three surviving members, John Paul Jones, Jimmy Page, and Robert Plant, celebrated recipients of the Kennedy Center honors.
Have you ever been there before?
No, you're joking. No. We were hardly the toast of American, the political
establishment?
Yeah.
You weren't getting any White House invitations then?
No, we were being questioned quite often.
If you say to me tomorrow, oh, what fun it all would be.
Led Zeppelin notoriously took sex, drugs, and rock and roll to epic extremes.
It was Joe Perry of Aerosmith who said that you were like Lord Byron, mad, bad, and dangerous to know.
That must have been you, John.
Yeah, it must have been.
It's been more than 3 decades since the group disbanded, after the death of drummer John Bonham in 1980.
I think we all agreed unanimously that that was that.
But take a stroll with lead singer Robert Plant, now 64.
Did I shake your hand already? You're a god. You're a god.
And you'll get the picture quickly.
Come along into my office.
That Led Zeppelin's allure endures.
I think you're so hot still, and my sister's going to be so jealous.
The band sold more than 300 million records. And when Led Zeppelin reunited in London for one night only in 2007, more than 20 million people applied for the 18,000 passes.
What we achieved was to change the blueprint of a lot of things. We changed the sort of where the horizon was. We moved it on.
The band's founder was guitarist Jimmy Page. At age 14, he was already appearing on British TV shows.
What are your two names? Yours is?
James Page.
Soon he was the most sought-after session guitarist in Britain. In the early 60s, he played for The Who, The Kinks, even on the theme song to the James Bond film, Goldfinger.
And it was exciting because it was right on the crest of the cutting edge of everything that was going on.
He joined the Yardbirds until the band fell apart in 1968.
You knew you wanted to form another band?
Yeah, and I knew what sort of band to make, too.
You did?
Yeah, absolutely.
You knew exactly what you wanted?
Absolutely.
His first recruit was bass player John Paul Jones.
You knew Jimmy through session work.
We were the young guns, yes.
Jones had written the string arrangements for Herman's Hermits and Rolling Stones records. When he heard Page was forming a band, he wanted in.
He said, I'm going up to the Midlands to see a singer, and we think he knows a drummer. I'll tell you what they're like when I get back.
The singer was 19-year-old Robert Plant and his friend, drummer John Bonham. Within weeks, the four got together.
What do you remember about those first rehearsals?
Just instant, this is fantastic. So he just counted it, 3, 4, and just like, whoa, the room just exploded.
And it was just so powerful. It just locked together like something that was pretty scary, but had to be.
Led Zeppelin was born. The band's debut album would spend 73 straight weeks on the charts, but the rock press was unimpressed. Rolling Stone magazine called it self-indulgent, and Page a writer of weak, unimaginative songs.
Did that bother you in the beginning?
No.
No.
It mystified me. I read that first Rolling Stone review, I thought, do they mean us?
They were on Geritol, though, injected mainline in Geritol. I mean, there were some old farts.
No, I think it just went over their heads.
Went over their heads?
Absolutely so. Absolutely, it was way beyond them.
But by the mid-70s, Led Zeppelin was the most popular rock band in the world. In 1973 in Tampa, Florida, they played to more than 56,000 fans, breaking the Beatles' Shea Stadium record.
Good evening. It really was the biggest crowd ever assembled for a single performance in one place in the entire history of the world.
I got a roll, can't stand still, got a flaming heart, can't get my fill.
I guess we were on a roll.
And you, by all accounts, lived a pretty wild life while you were doing it as well.
I don't know.
Which brings us back to that quote from Joe Perry, the guitarist with Aerosmith.
What did he say again?
He said you were like Lord Byron, that you were mad, bad, and dangerous to know.
And also to hear.
You need cool air, baby, I'm not fooling.
For more than a decade, Led Zepp were the dark gods of rock. But in 1980, when drummer John Bonham died, after consuming 40 shots of vodka in 24 hours, it all ended unexpectedly.
That must have been an incredibly difficult decision.
No, it was an easy decision. It was an incredibly difficult time.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't imagine it without him.
The band members went their separate ways.
I never felt so out of place and vulnerable and out of time and all that stuff. It was nerve-wracking, but that's what nerves are for.
Led Zeppelin would reunite publicly only twice before 2007, and with disappointing results. So when the concert to honor Ahmet Ertegun, the late head of Atlantic Records, was planned, Plant worried about recapturing Led Zeppelin's old magic.
Did you have to work pretty hard to put yourself back there?
I knew I couldn't go back there, but I had to be comfortable with where I met it.
And where was that?
It was just left of extreme fear and trepidation.
What fear? Why?
Well, because it's a tall order, you know. The thing is that everything that's magnificent, whatever it might be, a great moment in sport, a great moment in literature, can people actually ever go back and touch that again? You just know that once upon a time you could kick ass together and that's about it.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway to heaven.
But as Celebration Day, the new film of the concert shows, for that one night, with Jason Bonham taking his father's place on drums, Led Zeppelin would soar again. The band's performance raised hopes of a reunion tour. But at the premiere of Celebration Day and the DVD release press conference last month, the question,
and why is it so hard to come together again,
was met with silence. They didn't like it when we brought it up either.
I'm sure you've been offered a great deal of money to
He's still on about it now.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame, he was doing so well.
Yeah.
Away from the band, Jimmy Page was more receptive.
My sense is that you're saying that you're open to the idea, but you think it's unlikely.
I've been open to it, and I'm just looking at the past history of it.
Do you think that's likely your last show?
It's likely, yeah. I think so. But I've said it before.
But if this was Led Zeppelin's last set, they went out with thunder and all.